6 p.m. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Kanuz Ashraf. First, the headlines. Prime Minister has underscored Pakistan's continued commitment to fight terrorism and extremism. Japan's foreign minister says his country acknowledges immense sacrifices made by Pakistan to root out terrorism and extremism from the region. Foreign Office spokesperson says Indian anti-ballistic missile systems entail instability in the region and provoke arms race. 3 civilians have been injured in unprovoked ceasefire violation by Indian Army along working boundary in Zafarfal sector. Russia has warned United States against interference in the internal affairs of Iran. On the first day of 5th Test of Ashes series at Sydney, England in their first innings were 233 for 5 at stumps today. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Shahid Haqqan Abbasi has reiterated Pakistan's commitment for the promotion of peace and stability in the region. Talking to Japanese Foreign Minister Taro Kono in Islamabad today, he said that aggressive escalatory tactics being issued by India will not help the prospects of peace and stability in South Asia. He said that India is committing blatant human rights violations against the innocent Kashmiri civilians in the Indian-occupied Kashmir. Welcoming the Japanese Foreign Minister and his delegation to Pakistan, the Prime Minister said that Pakistan attaches great importance to its relations with Japan and is keen to enhance cooperation in all areas. Prime Minister Abbasi underscored Pakistan's continued commitment to fight terrorism and extremism. Speaking on the occasion, Foreign Minister Kono said that Japan will continue to work with Pakistan for further strengthening bilateral relations. He said that Japan acknowledges the immense sacrifices made by Pakistan to root out terrorism and extremism from the region. A delegation of LPG importers called on Prime Minister Shahid Haqqan Abbasi in Islamabad today. The delegation apprised the Prime Minister about the issues faced by the LPG importers. On the occasion, the Prime Minister directed Ministry of Petroleum to take effective measures in consultation with all stakeholders for removing disparities and rationalization of the price of LPG for the benefit of the consumers. Japanese Foreign Minister Taro Kono has appreciated Pakistan's sacrifices and contribution in the fight against terrorism. The appreciation came during a meeting between Japanese Foreign Minister Taro Kono and Foreign Minister Khwaja Mohammad Asif in Islamabad today. The Japanese Foreign Minister stressed the need for a coordinated international effort in the fight against extremism and terrorism. On the occasion, Foreign Minister Khwaja Asif reiterated Pakistan's commitment to a peaceful, stable and secure Afghanistan and support for an Afghan-led and Afghan-owned reconciliation process. Meanwhile, talking to Chief of Army Staff General Qamar Javed Bajwa in Rawalpindi, Foreign Minister of Japan said his country looks forward to enhance security cooperation with Pakistan, especially in the field of counter-terrorism. He informed the Army Chief about assistance of his country in rehabilitation of TDPs and provision of scanning equipment for border crossing points. The Army Chief thanked Japan for acknowledging Pakistan's efforts towards regional peace and assistance in counter-terrorism domain. Parliamentary Committee on National Security has expressed the resolve not to make any compromise on dignity and honor of the country. The resolve came during meeting of the committee held in Islamabad today with Speaker National Assembly Sardar Ayaz Sadiq in the chair. Later talking to newsmen, the Speaker said that all political parties are united to safeguard interests of the country. He said, "We want engagement with the United States, but with dignity and honor." Pakistan and Iran have agreed that recognition of Jerusalem as capital of Israel by United States has violated international understanding and destabilized the Middle East. The agreement was reached during a telephonic call made by Iranian Minister for Defense Brigadier General Amir Hatami to Minister for Defense Khurram Dastagir Khan today. The Iranian Defense Minister termed the recent visit of Chief of Army Staff General Qamar Javed Bajwa to Tehran as a turning point in defense relations between Pakistan and Iran. Minister for Planning and Development Ahsan Iqbal says any country can join China-Pakistan Economic Corridor to ensure peace and development in the region. He was speaking at the launching ceremony of CPEC Quarterly Magazine and website of the CPEC Center of Excellence in Islamabad today. The minister said no one should consider the corridor as a security project. This is Radio Pakistan. Pakistan has urged India to stop political theatrics aimed at distorting Pakistan's humanitarian gestures. This was stated by Foreign Office spokesperson Dr. Mohammad Faisal during the weekly news briefing in Islamabad today. The spokesperson said Jammu Kashmir Liberation Front Chairman Yasin Malik's letter to Indian External Affairs Minister bears witness to the Indian gimmickry and the situation of human rights in Indian jails. Earlier at the outset of the briefing, a statement of Indian spy Gulbhushan Yadav was screened before the newsmen, in which he thanked Pakistan government for arranging meeting with his family. Gulbhushan said the meeting was held in cordial atmosphere. The raw agent said he told his mother and wife that he was not physically tortured. His mother expressed satisfaction over his physical health. Indian Army has committed unprovoked ceasefire violations along working boundary in Zafarwal sector, injuring 3 civilians. Pakistan Army targeted Indian post, killing 1 Indian soldier and injuring 2 others. The Indian post was also neutralized. The AJK President Sardar Masood Khan has summoned special session of AJK Legislative Assembly in Muzaffarabad tomorrow at 10 a.m. The House will take up some resolution in connection with right to self-determination and Indian troops' human rights violations in occupied Kashmir. Kashmiris on both sides of line of control and world over will observe Right to Self-Determination Day tomorrow with the pledge to continue their liberation struggle till it reaches its ultimate goal. It was on 5th January 1949 when UN Security Council passed a resolution supporting the Kashmiris' right to decide their future by themselves through UN-sponsored plebiscite. In Azad Kashmir, the main function of the day will be held in Muzaffarabad. In Afghanistan, Taliban shot dead 3 Afghan security personnel in Farah province today. Spokesman of the provincial governor, Mohammad Nasir Mehri, said security forces personnel were traveling in a bus in Bala Buluk district. In Russia, 10 people were killed in a fire incident in a shoe factory in the Siberian region in eastern part of the country. The dead include 7 Chinese, 2 citizens of Kyrgyzstan, and 1 Russian. A top Russian diplomat has warned the United States not to interfere in the internal affairs of Islamic Republic of Iran. Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Ryabkov told state news agency TASS that Washington wants to use the unrest to undermine Iran nuclear agreement. In Syria, 20 civilians have been killed in airstrikes by government forces in opposition-held parts of eastern Ghouta district. Meanwhile, the Russian Air Force bombarded civilian settlements in the area to give air support to government forces which have seized Ghouta. On the first day of 5th and final test of Ashes series at Sydney against Australia, England in their first innings were 233 for 5 wickets at stumps today. Australia lead the 5-match series 3-0. And finally, the weather report. Rain thunderstorm with snowfall over the hills is expected at scattered places in Malakand, Hazara divisions and at isolated places in Peshawar, Multan, Kohat, Rawalpindi, Gujranwala, Quetta, Zob divisions, Islamabad, Fata, Gilgit-Baltistan and Kashmir during the next 24 hours. Dense foggy conditions are likely to prevail over plain areas of Punjab and Upper Sindh during night and morning hours. And that is the end of this news bulletin. For more news and analyses, log on to our website, radio.gov.pk, and watch live video streaming on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.